Growing up when your birthday rolled around and Grandpa handed you that card stuffed with this year's crisp, cool treasury bond, you're probably bummed, but you were doing an important civic duty. Those little slips of paper literally keep the government running. Turns out when the government borrows money, adding to the ever-climbing debt clock, it actually begins by issuing debt. These are the basics. Let's say the feds collect $100 of tax money, but they spend $150. This difference is called the deficit. To close that gap, the Treasury Department allows investors to chip in and fund the government, and they do this through selling Treasury bills, notes, and bonds. Treasury bills are paid back with pretty low interest within a year. Notes mature a little longer, meaning they're ready for repayment anywhere between 2 and 10 years. And your grandpa's favorite, bonds, have the highest yield, taking 30 years to ripen. The money collected through this route is called the national debt. Through decades of overspending, the debt level has climbed like crazy. Look at this. 1950, about $250 billion. 1970, $370 or so billion. Then it's like Mario hitting a speed strip when Reagan took office, and then everyone who succeeded him. We hit $1 trillion in 1982, $5 trillion in 1996. Today, $20 trillion and counting. If you broke that down by citizen, the national debt clock says we'd each owe about $63,000. And don't forget, taxpayers also owe interest on all those loans, meaning about $5,800 spent on interest per second. As for who owns the debt, it's pretty diverse. Treasury says that federal agencies with leftover money, individuals, businesses, plus foreign countries and businesses can all buy the bills and notes and bonds as they please. The balance has this breakdown. Government agencies hold about 30% of the national debt. That means the public owns the other 70%. Foreign governments and investors hold nearly half of that 70% owned by the public. Based on Treasury's official numbers, we know that China is the biggest lender to the U.S., holding almost 20% of the foreign debt, followed then by Japan, and then a host of other nations.